Hello. We are.
Okay,
We are live. We are live.
right
Go
on.
ahead,
Well, hey,
Waxy.
everybody. I would love to give a quick intro to the show today. Guys, I'm Waxy Brown. I'm a proud author from the Courage in Cannabis series, and I'm here today to start off this wonderful new show with a lot of good friends of mine. We're talking about the Courage and Comedy podcast, which is brought to you from the Courage in Cannabis family, which I have to say are some of the most wonderful and unique people I've ever come across, and I'm very happy to be on this fun little bus with them. So I'd like to introduce the folks that we're going to have on the show today. But before I do, I kind of just want to give just a quick little thank you to Dr. Bridget Cole-Williams, who's put this together, and Candy Flores. And I want to say that in a time where sometimes it's not really easy to find the fun, because there's so much going on between heat waves and world conflicts and legalization movements and people being pulled this way and that way. Sometimes we've got to take a quick moment and find the comedy that we've got all around us. And I think that we found the right team to do that tonight, to bring a quick little smile to the airwaves and to your session. So I'd like to welcome to the show Candy Flores, one of our authors and one of our hardest working teammates on the Courage of Cannabis series. We've got Dr. Bridget Cole-Williams, the mind and heart behind all of this and the glue that holds this team together. We've got Mary Jane Borden, one of my favorite people on the planet. You want to talk about a sense of humor? She's got it going on. Love to welcome to the show the baby mama we all love, Danielle Torres, one of our first comedians in this little crowd here that's gonna come on the show and show us how to have a great time. So I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. We're talking about courage in comedy. So I can't wait to have a good time with you guys and sesh tonight and have a little bit of laughter where sometimes it's a little tough to find some. So welcome to the show, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. Welcome, Danielle. I know it's your first time being in this little squad. So welcome, welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
You betcha. So I think now we'll start the show off and try and find a little bit of light in the darkness that's going on around us and all that. I'd like to start the show off if I can. Where's everybody that's on the show right now? Where are you guys from? If you're in the comments watching us on YouTube, tell us where you're from and where are our authors from. Mary Jane, where you hollering at us from?
I'm from Westerville, Ohio, which is actually the home of the Anti-Saloon League that advanced prohibition in 1920. Yeah. Well, actually, Westerville is a suburb of Columbus, so I'm kind of from Columbus, really.
Very, very cool. There's a lot of history. You're from Ohio. Ohio is about to embrace a new form of legalization. What do you guys have going on down there? Up there? Over there?
Well, we passed what's called Issue 2 last November, 57 to like 43%, something like that. And so it was just a decent margin. And it got to the State House, and they got to quarreling amongst the Libertarian Republicans and the not-so-Libertarian Republicans. They couldn't come to any conclusion of what they wanted to change. So since it went live, really, on December 7th, that's when it was actually enacted. So, I mean, it was, activated. It's been really running along pretty well on the language that was in the actual amendment. It's not an amendment, it's the statute. So the only problem is now that, of course, the legislature, they can't sit there and just let things happen. Now they're going to try to eliminate home grow or make it so that people who are home growing have to have an inspector and have to have their plants registered with the state and go through a system called metric, which is what some of the cultivators use. So I mean, what can I say?
That's it. Metric can be metric will tell you that metric is meant for commercial grows, not home grows. Well, I want to jump back into Ohio's legalization efforts though, because I know you guys are paving some ways there. Candy, where are you hailing from?
Corpus Christi, Texas.
Yeah, I lived in Corpus Christi for 2 weeks one time. I don't know if I told you that.
No.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Yeah, I got out of my car. I've been driving for like 16 hours. Got out of my car next to the beach. And Corpus, if you've been in your car for 16 hours just with the air conditioning, has a very fishy smell to it. And I was not expecting that. But I lived there for 2 weeks, and then my probation officer from Missouri called me back then. This was back when I got out of high school for some weed charges. Called me, said, you got to get back to Missouri. So I only got to live there for 2 weeks. But I did
wow.
like it. Yeah.
You did.
Doc-
Wow.
Dr.
Freaking
B,
hot
where you
here.
from? Where you at?
To me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you guys can see me. It looks so strange on my end. So
Yes.
I'm from Detroit. Always from Detroit. But I'm living in Columbus on my way to Cleveland because I'm going to the Cleveland School of Cannabis graduation, and we're taking the bar for them to celebrate and elevate. And so we're really excited about that. And we made some custom drinks for them, so it's going to be really exciting. And then I don't know if you can see. See, I can't see us. Let me see.
Hi, Candy.
Oh, you can see me. Hi,
Oh,
guys.
you can? Yes.
Our camera is so weird.
Yeah, it's like
Hi,
a little
y'all.
slither.
Hi, Waxy, Mary.
Hey,
Hi,
everybody.
Danielle. Hi, Candy. We
Hello.
are on the
Candy,
way to
Candy.
graduation. We get to listen. Look, I get to listen in to this nice show while we're on the road. So thank you guys.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm from Columbus also. Okay.
very cool.
We are on the road to Cleveland.
Oh, now there you see us.
Yeah, now it works.
All right. Everybody's favorite, baby mama. Where are you from? And tell us a little bit about you, because I'm excited to have you
So
on the
wait,
show.
wait,
We were
wait,
making-
wait.
We were having
Hold
fun
up.
before we started.
Waxy, wait, hold up. So first of all, let's start off with my girlfriend Danielle from Corpus Christi. I'd love to, introduce her, but I want to remind you this is her first time. She's not experienced.
I'll go
Please.
easy.
Of all the
Okay.
things I'm still a virgin at, right?
I will be extra. I
never
will be
smoked
extra
weed?
gentle.
Really?
So my name is
Because
Danielle Torres.
Waxy's fully experienced, but Danielle, please. So
I don't think
Waxy.
he's ever smoked weed.
Yeah, my name is Danielle Torres. I'm from right here in Corpus Christi. I'm a transplant from California, Los Angeles, and I met Candy. It's actually a funny story. It had to do with my baby daddy, and I am now the author of the Baby Mama Bible. I wrote the 10 Commandments for single mothers and how to kind of get themselves through the struggle of surviving single motherhood, which includes commandments like "Thou shalt not slash tires." You know, I really felt like having a platform in comedy. I am not talking to my people, my women, the women who have gone through the warfare of parenting. If you've ever been bullied by a 10-year-old, you know what I'm talking about. But I mean, this is hard, and I felt like I wanted to reach out to other women who were finding themselves in my same predicament, because I have 3 baby daddies, no shame to my game. I fell in love 3 times, and as a result, I have some souvenirs from the experience. But Nick Cannon has 5 baby mamas, and why is that okay? But I'm a hoe. I don't know. I'm not sure. Might have something to do with food stamps and child support. Again, I don't know, but I'm super excited to join the panel tonight. So happy and thankful that Candy invited me to be a part of this experience. So yeah, I'm here. How are we doing?
Very, very cool. So I think that we need a chapter in the Courage and Cannabis books that are kind of based around what she's got going on. Maybe even like its own chapter. Like, I don't know. I don't have kids. I've never needed them, wanted them, or birthed them, or anything like that. So I don't know a lot about them. But I definitely think I could get a lot of insight into females as a whole from your book.
I didn't want them or need them either, but by the grace of God, they are here, and I love every single one of them. It's the baby daddies I had a problem with. I kept the kids, threw away the men that kind of like a praying mantis, I used them for what I needed, and then I tore off their heads, and I wish it had been that easy. But yeah, Jesus is my baby daddy. I'm super excited to embrace, that. And Ken Paxton helps me get my child support paid. I'm from the very prohibitive state of Texas. And it's terrible. Like, they took away
I don't
our
know
right
what's
to
going
abortion.
on, but I'm loving all of it. I'm loving all of it. I don't have no
You
idea
tell
what's
me
going
more
on.
about Ken Paxton. He's the what is he, the
He's the attorney general who
attorney
just
general.
sued
Yeah.
Austin, and that was part of my. Oh, I'm so upset. There's over $1 billion owed to single parents in Texas in past due child support, but instead of going and helping us collect that money, he's picking a fight with some stoners in Austin. I'm not really sure why. But I would like to help redirect his vision back to the things that matter.
We would
So
too,
let me
because
ask you
he's
this.
trying to keep those off, keep that one initiative off the ballot. I'm really familiar with initiatives.
Yeah,
Have you
he's
thought about have you thought about starting up your own collection agency for these funds and going out and getting it like in mass?
my life has been threatened, so I can't. I really can't. That's, I really wanted to start like a website of baby daddy, child support evaders. But I'm from the home of the baby daddy, A.B. Quintanilla. I don't know if you know him. Selena's brother. He owes most of that $1 billion in child support is because of A.B. Quintanilla. So trying to do what I can here and contribute. So the baby mama Bible was kind of wrought out of that. There's so many of us women who don't really know what to do, and we got these men who don't want to pay child support. How do we go about collecting that? I really wish there was a good old. They used to do child support roundups. They'd send all the men like, "Hey, you want a brand new TV? Come and pick it up at this address." All these dummies would show up to get their free TV, and what they got was,
That's right. That's right.
Good idea.
Yeah, baby
Good
mama.
idea.
Let me ask you this, Danielle. If I'm going to buy one of your books, right, and I see you at a book signing, and you're going to sign the book for me, like, how do you sign that? Do you say like, "Go get your money, Danielle"? Like, how do you? What?
No, I signed that baby mama supreme, Danielle. I am a legacy baby mama. My mom was a baby mama. Her mom before that was a baby mama. So this is like generational legacy or trauma. I'm still working it out. I'm not sure. But
So
yeah, that's.
do you have daughters that you're currently training to be better baby mamas or anything like that?
I would like to train my daughters to not be baby mamas. I'll be honest with you. Like just don't
So you
have
want to?
kids. Just don't have kids. I'm about having some like grand puppies and grand cats or something. Like I'm fully set up for it. I don't want any grand kids.
So any kind of grand animals.
Yeah, I get grand animals, grand animal cookies. I'm even more down for. So however it works out. Yeah, I wanted really. I think my purpose with the book too was to talk about turning this generational trauma, obviously that's been in my family, to like some
Right.
kind of generational knowledge, generational wealth, generational. Hey, we're gonna heal from this and do better.
That's right.
Next
Break the
time,
cycle,
obviously,
says
because
Dusty.
I tried 3 times and now I'm giving up. There's no more kids for me. No more baby daddies.
So how long has the book been out?
The book, I just did an ebook version of it last year. It's on Amazon Kindle, as a matter of fact. You can find it there. There's the links on my Facebook and my Instagram if you look up Danielle Torres. Um, it's been out, and since it's been out, I found that I'm missing a lot of stuff, and so I'm actually working on the print version now of Baby Mama Bible version 2, which is kind of like how I came to these conclusions. Like the ebook is just, here's what it is, here's the commandments, like don't sleep with your baby daddy. That's absolute, that relationship is over. Don't go back.
Look, I'm not. Don't worry.
Because the only thing that man is going to do is break your heart again and get you pregnant one more time for a kid that he's not going to pay child support on, So I had to take this knowledge and put it out there so that other women could maybe not do what I did a couple of times.
Okay.
You bet.
So I know the book is funny, and I know you're a comedian, but I'll bet you that you've had some pretty heartfelt readers reach out and say, "Hey, this touched me in a way that's maybe a little bit different than a knock-knock joke."
I've been really fortunate to have now international readers. I had a review from Australia, as a matter of fact, and it was just the absolute best thing to know that, to be reminded that single motherhood, single parenting, baby mamaness is not just a United States problem. That's
That's
like
right.
a worldwide
Hell
problem.
yeah,
I bet you there's
worldwide,
some
girl.
woman in North Korea that's really pissed off that this guy made her
That's
fall in
right.
love with him, got her pregnant, and then took off and isn't paying her any child support either.
Yeah.
I would, like to be able to continue to reach out to those women. And really, this is just my flag in the sand that's going to say, hey, it's all going to be okay. And if we can laugh at it and laugh our way through it, we're all the better for it.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously, we're at heart, we're a bunch of stoners. When it comes down to it, you're on a cannabis and comedy show. How much of what you do, the lifestyle that you live, because listen, you've taken adversity, flipped it on its back, and made it into something absolutely fun and wonderful. How much does cannabis have to play into what your vibe is, everything you got going on?
Only after 9 o'clock, only after the kids are in bed, only outside of the house, and they can never ever see me. That's what CPS said. And so those are my guidelines. On my CPS punch card, for the fifth time, they have to come to my house. Apparently, they take the kids, and I get like a 5-day vacation or something. So we're really trying to aim for that. But, cannabis, I think we don't put enough stock into the mental health help that it gives us. As a single mom, you've got like 7 different things going on at any given time. The kids' homework, there's a project coming up next week. Did you do the laundry? Are the dishes washed? What are you making for dinner tomorrow? Did the kids clean their backside right when they went to the bathroom? The dog needs to go out. And that man is steady calling your phone, doesn't want to give you no money. You trying to make, how you going to pay the rent next month? Yes, you know what? After the kids are asleep, I like to go chill out outside, have me a little smoke, relax my mind so that I am ready and able to get up and go through it all over again the next day.
Powered by
Preach,
cannabis.
preach,
Powered
preach.
by cannabis.
That's
With
right.
that,
I am powered
with
by
that, with,
cannabis.
with that list of things that you said that you have to do, it made me stressed out. I might have to medicate.
I know.
Let's all go
Criminal
medicate.
power. Let's get it.
Because
Right.
Definitely.
I don't have kids and I live with my cat. So usually it's me. I do one thing, I medicate. I do one thing, I medicate. Then I medicate to prepare for doing like the next things and medications. So like there's a cycle, and I don't want to break the
It's a
cycle.
cycle. I hear that. But it is a
Heck yeah.
look, you and me both, okay? The cycle continues. We
The
wake
cycle
up and we do it all over again. We just
That's right.
this is the only way
Right,
to
right.
stay sane. It's the only way, guys. I'm telling. Look, as a mom, also, let me just to a 5-year-old right now. Let me just tell you, hot
Oh, wow.
mess. So cannabis like keeps me focused and together and able to like just be in the mind of a 5-year-old. You know, yes, it puts me right there. I think play. Thank you, cannabis. Okay.
If you smoke in the morning before they wake up, you will sit there and watch cartoons and eat pancakes with them too.
That's what
I
I
promise. It makes
Yes.
be ready.
the
They're like, what
experience
cartoon are we
watching Miss
watching?
Rachel is so much better.
That
For real,
makes
I'm
that
all
makes a
into it.
lot.
I'm
That
asking
makes
him
a
like,
lot of
what cat? What
sense.
he do?
That makes a lot of sense for me because my mom always watched cartoons and ate cereal with me in the morning. So
She was the bomb.
You got a
now
cool
I know.
mom?
Those are the best moms, right? Those are the best
Yes.
moms.
Look, fathers too.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Let's give it to them. I know there's the father. Look, there's somewhere.
Somebody out there.
Say it. Are you out there?
Mary Jane. Mary Jane, do
Mhm.
you have children?
I have a son, and I just become a grandmother.
Oh,
Oh,
Yay.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
So, Mary Jane, you kind of the time that you were raising your children, your kiddo, how much was cannabis at that time? Because like it's so normalized now, things weren't the same then. How much was that a part of your parentage and waking up and going to bed at night?
Well, I'm from I'm from an OG, I think is what they call me. I mean, I go way back. I mean, way back.
yes,
And
girl.
I go back to the time when you really had to hide it. You couldn't be overt about it because you really risked some severe penalties. People would get busted. They'd be going jail and da 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 da. And so we really learned back then to be discreet. And so I just kind of kept that with me. Even today, I'm always looking over my shoulder, or wondering, is the wrong person watching it right now? So I don't do a lot of that in public, you know. So we practiced the same thing when we were raising our son. And I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but as far as I know, he's never smoked. As far as I know.
But Mary Jane, did you have like other can of moms? Did you have, or were you
Well,
literally just in your own little silo?
I would say I had friends, yeah, there was a group of people back in college, where we were the stoners, I mean, actually, we didn't really adhere to the stereotype because where I went to school was so conservative, you didn't, you can be really left wing and just look like, you're going to church. So, I mean, really, this is a conservative school. And so, but it always had the undercurrent of people who use cannabis, always, and I was a part of that undercurrent. And that was in the book. That was my story in the book where I got busted, because I had a little tiny plant. Got kicked out of my sorority because of it. You go read chapter 1, and so that stayed with me, and it still is with me today. So, in terms of with my son, no, we really didn't make it a part of our lives with our son at all.
Yeah, Candy, same kind of question. How did it kind of interact with the way you've parented?
I skipped a little bit of that. So can you repeat that? I was busy sharing the page.
Same kind of question. How much did cannabis have to do with how you're parenting?
Oh, definitely it's made me I feel, when I was suffering before cannabis, I feel I was moody because I was miserable. I was in pain. So definitely, affected not only, my role as a mother, but as a wife, as a sister, as a daughter, as for anything I did. So I feel it's helped me in every aspect, not only being a mother, but just being a person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that our subject tonight has a book that's about baby mamas, and when I look around the room, I see a lot of folks that have gone through certain traumas while they were raising their children and having to deal with a lot of things. Mary Jane, including yourself, like having to stay in that closet when you obviously knew it wasn't supposed to be a closet there for you to bust out of, and the rest of you having to go through the adversities and things. Like, as someone that's never raised kids or had children, I have to say, like, I almost wish like I was in the ranks of like the baby daddies or something so I could experience like that. But I've only had to raise myself. But it's very interesting to me because both my parents weren't shy about cannabis. To hear from you guys that, because I just smoke all day long, right? So like I was very surprised when Danielle told me that she only smokes in the evening time after a certain time. And I expected something different from Mary Jane, like, oh, all the time and everything else. But then I forgot that those times were also treacherous. So it's been fun to hear personally from all of you those different perspectives.
Yeah, because I don't think I'm not a drinker, right? I mean, you have a glass of wine here or there, but I've never been like, that just wasn't my vibe. So that's easier to do in front of the kids. But like, how is it that alcoholism is so widely accepted in everybody's family? Everybody's got an alcoholic in the family, and that's okay. That is okay that that person, endangers other lives and gets it behind the wheel, whatever, but that I'm at home in the safety of my own home, and I still have to hide because we don't know when the kids go to school. Well, I do know personally, but the kids can go to school if they don't know that they shouldn't be telling people. They just might, and then that kind of trickles back to you, by CPS visits, by the school calling home. But if I was at home getting drunk every day, that wouldn't be the same type of trouble.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. Like, my dad watches everything I do nowadays, and he got a traumatic brain injury, so he doesn't have alcohol in his life anymore or tobacco. But it's something that I grew up around, and also became I'm a recovering alcoholic myself, thanks to cannabis, mushrooms, and my VA therapist and my friends and family. But I grew up around alcohol, and I can tell you, if alcohol hadn't been in the picture, and I have great relationships with my parents, I bet those relationships would be just a little bit sweeter, just a little bit better, maybe a little cherry on top that wasn't there when we had alcohol and things like that. Which, thank goodness, this new generation is saying no to alcohol at an astounding rate and saying yes to cannabis. So that's another thing that we got to say and give it up for folks like Mary Jane and Dr. Bridget and everybody in this room that have normalized and helped legalize in their areas and get this plant in the right hands, because we are changing the vibration in the room. And I love that. I'm seeing cannabis beverages and cannabis lounges popping up all over the place. And it's my favorite movement in the world right now is watching alcohol and big tobacco stumble. I never thought I'd see that in my life.
Right. And somebody who's come from the distant past, and I worked so hard for years, 20 to 40 years, depending on how you count it, to legalize, get to where we are now in Ohio. When I go to a dispensary, and I know Ohio's probably worse than some other states, but I go to a dispensary and I'm looking at what I want to buy, this week, and I'm going, gosh darn, there's 50 different kinds of flour to choose from. 50, let that sink in. 50 different kinds of flour. Now, I remember when you got that baggie from your friend, it came in an actual bag. You licked it to seal it, and you go, hey, you guys got
I
any?
cannot even
darn.
imagine.
It's summertime. Oh God, no! Because back then everybody grew it, not indoors but outdoors. So when the season changed, that mattered, because it would all of a sudden you have a dry spell. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And people don't remember that. I remember it because I'm old. But I think those stories need to be told, because then people go, really? Yeah, really.
It's a true story. I come from the traditional market, as my arrest record will tell you. And I can tell you this, it didn't always come in a little pretty jar in an eighth and weigh exactly what you wanted it to. There were cats like us that were bringing in spare tires and having to use hacksaws to get through the rubber to pull out the 8 pounds of brick that we just got in Army duffel bags. We've had guns pointed at us, and unfortunately, sometimes in the past, the market has had to point guns back. And that's what we see nowadays is yes, there's this beautiful vibration of retail, but please don't forget the traditional market, because the crazy part is the traditional market is still selling 90% of the cannabis in the United States of America, and they're going to continue to do that. That's where we call home. We love to go out and shop, and we love to be tourists for a little bit, but we know where our heart and our home is, and it's in the traditional market. And that's with all love to my cannabis sponsors for my show. All love.
Well, I still can't, even though I came from that era, I still can't help but be just intensely gratified by 50 different kinds of flour to choose from. And then you got your oils, and then you got your topicals, and then you got your, your drinks.
So you actually have to medicate to go in and decide what
you have to medicate.
You want.
You sit at your computer and go, gosh, I have no idea what to buy here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I cannot even imagine.
That's Mary Jane. That's why. That's why they do it. That's why they do it, because you're going to need more medication, And they know it works.
My favorite part is at the end when I look down at the receipt and realized I paid just about as much in taxes as I did for that cannabis. And it's like, guys, we're going the wrong direction here.
See, I don't have to pay taxes because I'm a patient.
Yeah, we have in Missouri, we're pretty blessed, honestly. We pay a 4% tax for medical, and then our recreational market pays a 6% tax. But just like any other place, it's not just your city that's taxing you, or that medical tax, or that rec tax. So you got to throw that on top of your county taxes, which now we can double dip county and city taxes legally according to the courts. So right now it's kind of, you're going to pay a lot when you go buy weed from a guy named Chad. It's just how it works.
Wait, you're paying 4% tax? 4%. 4% tax, and then you said 6% for recreational?
4% if I'm a medical card holder. Our medical tax is 4%. That goes to 100% of that goes towards our Veterans Commission. And then on the recreational side, our rec people pay 2% to the Veterans Commission, 2% to addiction programs, and another 2% to our public defender program, which I think is like one of the things that every state should do is fund these public defender programs, because those are some ridiculous attorneys for nobody wants a $28,000 a year attorney. So we need to start paying and getting better attorneys for our indigent folks, the folks that don't have money to fight these cannabis cases or any case.
Amazing. Absolutely. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Now in Ohio, you guys are about to flip to rec, right?
Yes. We, like I say, it said that the adult use will be on dispensary shelves by the end of June. They just released the application forms for it, and basically because you have the medical program already active, and they made it so that the applications for the adult use are very similar in terms of what they need. So these companies are now already just almost cultivating in preparation for launch at the end of the month.
Yeah, that's just about how every state's done it so far, is they'll flip their recreational licenses from the medical licenses they've already gotten, which when you start from a system that is really screwing up the social justice side of this, you're starting from a screwed up platform to begin with. It's kind of a nightmare to watch corporate cannabis try and regulate themselves, which is what they're doing, because they're writing their own laws. Their lobbyists are paying for this language. So it's kind of interesting to watch them self-regulate, and they're self-regulating themselves out of a job as soon as rescheduling hits, along with federal legalization, because at the end of the day, with hemp looking the way it's looking, because if you really know the difference between, but because cannabis is cannabis, hemp, marijuana, whatever you want to call it, it's a political noise at this point. We're talking about a 0.0% of a THC at that point that we're arguing about. So I believe, just like it's starting to look like, I think we're going to flip, the United States as a whole is going to flip to a recreational farm bill style cannabis, your hemp, as well as a medical marijuana status, which is going to be all your supply chain, from your cultivators to your dispensaries to big pharma to Walmart, Walgreens, and your gas stations.
Well, that's quite. That's an interesting group.
But you know what? I feel like we're flaunting our opportunities in front of these nice Texas people, because we're flaunting and complaining about something that Texas can only dream of right now.
Right.
Like,
right.
I'd be happy to pay a 10% tax. And I'm listening to you guys talking. I'm like, so you guys just never tip your weed man? Is that what happens? Because like, if they bring it to me, I'm giving them a $5-10 tip. I feel like I'm already paying taxes, so I'd gladly pay a 10% tax just to not be worried about my kids getting taken away from me or me going to jail. I'd be glad to.
I feel that 100%. You want to know what my biggest quirk is with dispensaries and the medical scene altogether? It's in the street on the traditional market. The one thing we never really enjoyed was a lingerer, somebody that's going to hang around your living room for a long time after you sold them a bag, and that's not rock. So why are you making me linger when I get there? I don't even get to the weed for a while. I got to talk to one person who's going to take my ID, all my information, and then I'm going to talk to the next person who's going to be some security guy that honestly, you're not doing much, bud. You're just standing there looking at IDs. We don't have a lot of problems here. So, like, at the end of the day, you've made me wait sometimes up to 20 minutes. And that's if I'm there with nobody in line. If I got to get in the line, it's over. So at that point, that's my biggest problem with the medical and the recreational is I don't like to linger. I like to get and go. Even my plug knows I'm not hanging around. Don't offer me a seat. I don't want something to drink. I'm probably not going to eat your food. I need to grab that bud and get on. And you can't do that at dispensary. It's a 30-minute thing at a dispo.
Yeah.
Not really. Now, maybe because they're kind of slow, but most of the time, if I do a pre-order, I go in, I show my ID, they let me in, and usually I walk right up to a counter and say I've got a pre-order, and then they ring it up and I walk out. And I think it's about 10 minutes total.
But Mary Jane, that's because you lingered on their website looking at those 50 strains for 30 minutes.
For hours on their website.
So Mary Jane's the same as I am. She wants to get in, get what she wants, and get out.
I hate to wait. I remember this is the first time I remember they opened when the dispensary opened in Columbus, the very first one. A friend of mine and I wanted to go be in line there. We want to go to the dispensary first because this is the first time you get to buy weed, and this is going to be great. And this was in late March, and the temperature outside was about 25 degrees. And I can't believe the dispensary was so stupid to have that patients, my friend I went with has a brain cancer. She was one of the longest standing living persons who have this type of brain cancer. So she and I are standing